What is up, guys? How are you all doing? I'm doing great, thanks for asking. And what do I have here for a quick video where I'm talking about one thing and one thing only, and that is, does length matter? Does size matter? And no, we're not talking about penises, you dirty perverts. We're talking about the Order 1886, which was released not so long ago, and there has been huge controversy surrounding it just as much as the hype. And I've played the game, I think it's a brilliant game, I think it's very well made. The visuals are literally the most stunning thing you'll ever see from a next-gen console. Obviously, I play on a PC, so I'm already aware of these magnificent graphics in other games like Metro Last Light and whatnot. However, those console guys really didn't experience the true next-gen feeling of graphics until the Order 1886, in my opinion. Far Cry 4 was magnificent, but obviously with the PC you can up the graphics even more, but on console you're kind of limited to that. So the Order 1886 was a really big breath of fresh air, and I think they did it magnificently. The story was very interesting, but it kind of didn't play out in the way most people thought it would, including me. I thought that it would be more story driven in terms of the hybrids and like those werewolf type things, but they weren't really included in the game as much as they showed in the trailer, so that was kind of disappointing. However, the main controversy, the main issue with the game is the length. Now, the game only lasts around 6 hours or thereabouts, I should say, and only half of that is actual gameplay. Now that's very weird, because usually you don't see that with games. The whole point of a video game is to have control of a character or a situation or an environment and do with it what you will. I mean, sure, it's not an open world game, so you are limited to a kind of linear story where you have to follow certain things and go from level to level or scene to scene. I get that. However, even within those kind of environments, you should have control of a character or the situation, or at the very least, you should be given the illusion that you do. But in this case, only half of the game length is actually playable. So out of those 6 hours or thereabouts, only half of that is where you are controlling a character, walking around, shooting, going into cover, jumping, running, and things like that. The rest of it is just cinematics, it's just cutscenes. Now for me, this kind of ticks the box of those really incredible games that have been trying to do something different, including The Last of Us, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and etc. There's a few games like that, where in my opinion, they're not considered video games as such. They are more along the lines of experiences, because they are literally cinematics, kind of like a little mini movie. And I believe that that's what the Order 1886 tried to do. Try to be some sort of hybrid between movie industry and the video game industry. I think it achieved it very well, but a lot of people weren't expecting that. A lot of people were expecting just a video game, but they got more than what they bargained for, or I should say something different from what they thought they would be. Some say that's a good thing, some say that's a bad thing. It depends on how you look at it. I think that having cutscenes like that and making it look like a cinematic and making it look captivating and immersive is really cool. I think it's magnificent. I think that's a great feature, that's a great addition. However, they should have added more than 3 hours of gameplay. Now this game has been in development for a few years. I'm not sure exactly how long. I heard somewhere it was like 3 years or thereabouts, so it's a very long time. Now I understand that they had to create an engine and do the research, and it's very difficult to make a video game. It's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. So I get that it took a long time. However, if you have been developing this game for this many years, I would have expected a lot more gameplay. Obviously, the reason why they've done this is to set up a premise, set up a story, an environment, a kind of virtual reality where they tried to push a sequel. That's the whole point. This is kind of like a prequel. It's kind of like a setup. So you can bet everything you own that there's going to be a follow-up to this, a kind of secondary game. But that's the main problem. Should they be allowed to charge $60 or premium pricing for a game that only lasts 6 hours, where only half of that is playable? So 3 hours is actually game control and actual gameplay, and the other 3 hours is cutscenes and cinematics. I think not. I mean, a part of me says yes, they should charge this much money because it took so many years to make and develop, and they have to pay the developers. Obviously they have to go home and pay rent and eat and look after their families and themselves so that they can create more content. I get that. However, the other part of me says, well, they spent this long on the game and the game only turned out to be 6 hours long and only half of that is playable. Should they charge a full video game price for it? Probably not. I mean, the reason why the other half of me is saying that argument is because I think that's kind of charging a bit too much for a video game that doesn't really function as a video game. So I'm kind of torn between them, kind of like 50-50, because I truly did enjoy the game. I think the game was very different. The visuals were amazing. Like I said, the story could have been a bit better. It could have been done a bit better, but nevertheless, it was very good. But on the other hand, I just feel as though that people aren't getting their money's worth exactly. So there's kind of that cost-benefit analysis of, you know, the people who put the time and effort into the game need to get paid, as well as the publishers. But then again, the customer, the consumer needs to get every penny they paid for. But ultimately, in a game like this, because it tries to be different, because it tries to be more of an experience than a video game, I think that length doesn't matter. I mean, that's truly the kind of point of this commentary, and that is, length doesn't really matter with games like this. I mean, a normal game like, let's say, a standard Call of Duty campaign, it's like 6 to 8 hours or 6 to 9 hours, whatever, depending on how you play it or what difficulty or how many times you play it through and how good you are at the game. Or in other games like Skyrim, if you just play the campaign or you just like the main missions, Skyrim is actually finishes in about maybe 6 hours or thereabouts. It's because they have so many other quests and other things that surround the main quest that you can put hundreds and hundreds of hours into the game. But the main story isn't that long. So in terms of video game length, it's not too bad. And for IPs like this, I think 6 hours isn't too bad because, like I said, it's kind of half movie, half video game. But anyways, let me know in the comment section what you think. Have you played the Order 1886? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did you think it should be longer? Do you think they should be able to charge that much money for it, even though it is only 6 hours or thereabouts? And does length really matter? I mean, if you enjoyed the game, which I did for the most part, does it really matter that it's only 6 hours? Isn't it about the experience? Isn't it about the memories, the actually, you know, putting the disc in, playing the game and saying, wow, that was amazing? Isn't it about that more so than, oh, I've paid $60, I expect 10 hours of gameplay? Anyways, let me know what you think and what you believe in. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a like. If you did not enjoy the video, leave it a dislike. And I will see you guys in the next one. Sniper474, and I'm out. I'll see you on the battle.